Thank you for using this on-demand webinar to learn more about the interview process for AJLI Governance Leadership. I am Bette Williams, AJLI Governance Chair from the Junior League of Columbia, South Carolina.
Hi everyone, I am Malia Fallon, AJLI Governance Committee Vice Chair from the Junior League of Minneapolis.
And hello, I'm LaShonda Kennedy, AJLI Governance Committee at-large member from the Junior League of Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Let's introduce the rest of the 2017-2018 Governance Committee. In addition to the ladies who have just introduced themselves, the committee consists of Julianne Averill, Junior League of Oakland East Bay, Katie Gerson, Junior League of Kansas City, Gwen Londrigan, Junior League of Clearwater Dunedin, Katie Shuck, Junior League of Sioux Falls, Jeff Tausig, Junior League of the City of New York, Sandra Thompson, Junior League of Orange County, California, and Susan Danish, AJLI's Executive Director. In this webinar, we will review the interview process and conduct a mock interview. We will also answer some frequently asked questions and provide tips for your references. By now, you should be very familiar with the Governance Committee's charge: to produce a leadership team that will most effectively forward the association's mission, goals, and strategic plan. Through a robust application process, we match organizational needs with individual strengths. You are obviously very qualified to have made it to this stage in the process, so congratulations. But let me stress the first couple of lines on the screen. In addition to finding the most qualified candidates, we must also match your strengths to the current needs of the Board and Governance Committee. Some of you will not be slated, and it simply could be because your skills are not a current match. For this reason, we strongly suggest that if you're not slated this year, that you go back out into your community and continue to gain more experience and apply again at a later date, because our needs change every year, as does the candidate pool. Now that you are clear about what we're doing, let's take a look at the timeline and exactly how we hope to accomplish this.
Here's the calendar outlining our process. We are currently preparing to interview candidates and their references. This will take place in October. Slating takes place in November, and the slate will be presented to the junior leagues in December. All junior leagues then vote on the entire slate of candidates just before annual conference, so be sure to have your league vote each and every year. And last but not least, at annual conference, election results will be announced. The Governance Committee slates candidates with demonstrated leadership experience and depth and breadth in her junior league, civic, and professional experience. These criteria are specified in operational policies approved by junior leagues, also known as the OPALs, as qualities that the leagues want us to find in leaders for the association. Also, we are looking for league leaders who are ready to serve at the association level. This is not a next step in your league career. It's about who has the leadership talent and experience to be an effective leader in the AJLI boardroom or on the governance committee. In addition to the qualities and characteristics I just mentioned, the OPALs state the following selection criteria: broad perspectives, demonstrated commitment to diversity and inclusion, the courage to dissent, credibility among peers, flexibility, good interpersonal skills, demonstrated leadership qualities, risk takers with accountability, and women who are thoughtful and visionary. These criteria are translated into 9 competencies that fall into 3 broad categories: demonstrated leadership, personal effectiveness, and relationships. Refer back to the application package for more details and examples of these competencies.
Interviews will be conducted via telephone by a team of 2 members from the Governance Committee. We conduct behavioral-based interviewing so that each candidate's depth and breadth of leadership experience within all areas of their life can be demonstrated. For example, league, civic, and professional careers. You can expect an interview to last between 60 and 90 minutes. You will be asked behavioral-based questions that address the competencies as well as the mission, vision, and strategic direction of AGLI. It is also helpful to review background information about the association and its transformative work. Look at AGLI's strategic plan, governance plan, and its key initiatives around community impact, membership, and league governance. We also highly recommend that applicants begin thinking about the trends in volunteer and membership nonprofit sector and their relevance to the association in the short-term and long-term future. Here are some tips to help prepare for the interview. First, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Make sure that you are comfortable and relaxed. And begin by reviewing the competencies so that you will fully understand them. Do not try to script your answers in advance. We also recommend that you spend time reviewing your leadership resume to remind yourself of noteworthy projects and accomplishments.
During the interview, when asked a question about your past behavior in a particular situation, try to consider that such situation in 3 important ways. What did you do in the situation? What was the outcome in the situation? And what did you learn in the situation? Think of concrete examples in your league, professional, and other nonprofit, volunteer, civic, and public service life where you have best demonstrated the competencies. Your examples can be about your successes as well as when something didn't work. We will be looking to hear about what you contributed, what you learned, and how you have grown from your experiences. We are going to go through a sample interview question and response, just as it would occur during the interview. That will be the applicant, and LaShonda and I will be the interview team.
Good afternoon, Bet.
Good afternoon, LaShonda.
Well, let's get started. Tell us about a time when you had to achieve consensus in a group disagreement. What was the outcome?
In my work at the Miami Herald newspaper, I was assigned to an interdepartmental task force, and we were asked to develop new products that would be of interest to furniture companies so that the Herald could grow advertising revenue from furniture stores. It quickly became apparent that because of my junior league experience, I had the most experience in bringing together diverse groups, and I was asked by the group to serve as the project leader. Our group included employees from the newsroom, graphic design, advertising, special projects, finance, and digital media. At first, we were all over the place with our ideas, and we had some very strong-willed people in the group who had the my way or the highway mindset. We talked about slick magazines, newsprint, tabloid inserts, staff capacity, digital advertising, and just the regular newspaper features. So after much discussion and many meetings, we eventually decided to recommend that the company develop a new slick magazine and to distribute that magazine to select high-income households in the Miami-Dade County. We also recommended a corresponding online product that would capitalize on our growing online footprint and give the advertising client greater reach with their ad dollar.
Bet, could you please explain a little more about what exactly you did to bring the group together?
Absolutely. So because of my work in the Special Projects Department, I had often worked across departments and had a solid reputation for hard work and for following through on my commitments. Our first meeting was very unproductive and emotions were running high, and department barriers remained firmly in place. It seemed to me that many people were struggling because they did not feel like their voices were being heard. At that second meeting, I asked each member to share their personal motivation for participating on this volunteer task force and to share what business success would look like for them. Around the table, each person shared why they volunteered to participate. And by allowing everyone the space to be heard, it was a first step to breaking down the traditional and entrenched departmental barriers. We established common ground and began to bond for the first time as a group. Next, we established some group norms about how we would work together. And finally, we agreed upon a significant list of project must-haves. And as we worked through the project development, we often referred back to this list to make sure we were on course. As a result, we had 100% buy-in from all the team members, and we limited the off-channel bickering. This sharing session also gave me great insight into each member's communication styles, and that second meeting really set the stage for success and helped us to be a high-performing team.
Thank you, Bet and Malia. We hope that in the first response you recognized a lack of specifics on how the candidate reached success with her project, and therefore a follow-up question was necessary to learn how she pulled her group together. With behavioral-based questions, again, we want to know not only what you have accomplished, but how you achieved your goals. Remember, the interview is the time for you to showcase specific examples from your rich leadership experience. Be specific, to the point, and genuine.
A few notes about references. Now that you've been invited for an interview, you've been asked to provide 2 references who can speak firsthand to your leadership experience. One reference will be asked to speak about your league and association experience. This reference should be able to provide examples of observed competencies in your league or association environments. This reference cannot be currently serving in an association position. Please note that if you select your current league president as your league reference, she will be contacted to serve as both your league reference and your league check, which we will discuss in a moment. The other reference will be asked to speak to and provide examples of observed competencies in other nonprofit, volunteer, civic, public service, or professional experience. We recommend that you speak with your references regarding your experience, give them a copy of your leadership resume, the AGLI competency library, and fact sheets for the positions you are interested in. Again, we cannot emphasize enough that references should know you well and have observed examples of you demonstrating the competencies. The interview with references should take approximately 20 minutes. In addition to conversations with your references, we will also reach out to your league president and ask her for 2 items. 1, to confirm that you are a member in good standing, you have paid your dues and fulfilled your membership requirements, and 2, to rank your leadership skills on a scale of 1 to 5. No other questions will be asked, and no other information will be recorded from your league check. And likewise, if you have previously served on the AGLI board or governance/nominating committee, we will also reach out to the AGLI president or governance chair you served with to ask her a few short questions about your previous service, such as your attendance, participation, and leadership skills.
We have a few frequently asked questions regarding the governance interview process. The first is, must I demonstrate all 9 competencies?
You should be able to speak to all of the competencies. We understand individuals will demonstrate the competencies in varying degrees, and we don't expect anyone to have expert ability in all of them.
Must I have prior AGLI experience to be slated for the board or executive committee?
So with the exception of the governance committee vice chair position, an applicant does not need prior board, governance/nominating committee experience to serve on the AGLI board or executive committee.
What type of reference is most helpful?
The best reference is one who can speak knowledgeably and firsthand about how you demonstrate the competencies. Again, this is either in the junior league or in a nonprofit, volunteer, community, public service, or professional role.
In the days before your interview, a member of the interview team will touch base with you to confirm your interview date and time. If you have an unavoidable conflict or if you get sick, please let us know as soon as possible so that we can reschedule the interview for when you will be at your best. Thank you for answering those questions, Malia and LaShonda, and thank you for participating today. Please be sure to take our brief 5-question survey after closing this video. Your feedback is very important to us, and a link to the survey can be found on the Governance Webinars and FAQ page on the AGLI website. And remember, if you've got it, we want it. Have a great day.